Hey friends, Amy the Potter here, and I am continuing my glazing escapades. This is going to be going on for days, so don't worry. You didn't miss anything, and you're probably not gonna. It's so cold, I've got all the heaters going, so if anybody's watching, you can let me know if the heaters are too loud. So I'm using this raspberry glaze, one of my favorites, and I had to quickly stop earlier. And so I'm in the middle of glazing these small bowls. I'm like packed full. I've got sweaters underneath. I'm in many layers here. Let me turn this on so I can see a little bit better too. Ha! Amazing. I glaze the insides first. If I just let it run out one part of the rim, I might not have to do so much cleaning after, but I also have to do this part carefully, which is straight down and out with a gentle breaking of the vacuum seal that happens when you submerge the pot. And could have been better. I'll try it even more gentle next time. I got a new phone today, but this is not it. At some point tonight, I'm going to have to say, okay, time to go talk to the Xfinity lady. Actually, she might call me, and then I'll have to run quick. Yeah, I don't know if you ever talk to these people, but it's like you spend so much time talking to them, and then sometimes I don't even really understand what they're saying. I'm writing everything down, but I think I need to ask more questions while I have them on the line. Okay. I have two sizes of these small bowls because when I was first making them, I was making them too big. These are the small ones. Okay, let's see how we do. Straight down to the rim and then gently breaking that seal. That one's a little bit better. You can see it. Hi, Sherry. Nice to have you here. So I'm just sponging off any glaze that got onto the band, because some does, stick on the wax. And sometimes the wax is not perfect, and then you have to do some extra work like this. Try to make it a little more perfect. Slightly. So feel free to give me, oh my gosh, Deborah Bayer's there. Hi, Deborah. I just got off a call with Roma. Can you believe it? We just got off a call. Yeah, let me know if a better camera angle is desired. Like closer. I have some flexibility. I can move stuff around. All right. Oh, hold on a sec. Sherry, I'm taking a ceramics class now and have been excited to watch you and learn. Cool. Where are you taking the class? I said this on an earlier video, but I think I'm going to delete that video, so I'm going to say it again, which is that about glaze recipes. I'm talking to the potters out there. that I've come up with this idea to do a one-to-one glaze recipe swap with people who have, like, if you have a glaze that I would like, and I have a glaze that you would like, then we could swap one recipe. So instead of just giving somebody your whole palette, unless that's what you want to do, I don't want to do that. Um, but I would do a one-to-one glaze recipe swap, and I think that that's a good way to keep people's glaze palettes diversified, and we're not just copying each other and everybody winding up with the same 5 glazes. So if anybody, what I'm looking for, I'll put out my plea, is a nice orange and a nice yellow, and I might go further with reds. This one is raspberry and it's a really nice berry color, but if there's something on cone 6 oxidation that's a little bit more red without using mason stains, I am curious and open. So, let me show you something here. This is gonna have to be, it's tricky because right here I didn't wax that spiral that went down onto the bowl. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to get the raspberry to separate from the black spiral. That was kind of a bad, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So I'll have to scrape that off a little bit later probably, or just say, that one's going to be different. I'll put it up and out of the way to remind myself. But here's something interesting that not, oh Jesus, I almost broke a bunch of stuff. So here, I'll show you. This is before and after. Exactly before and after. The size, not exactly, but this will shrink a little bit. This one is going to shrink. This one's smaller. They're slightly different shapes, but it will shrink. Isn't that cool? There's nothing really raspberry about that, is there? But that's what it's going to look like. Here. Okay, so I got one. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Ugh, I'm making a mess. Okay. So, I just put some fingerprints in this. Just gonna touch over them. Just using a little glaze. Okay. Gotta keep on exhaling. When I'm moving quickly, I'm usually not breathing, not aware of my breath. And then when I'm not aware of my breath, I'm often making mistakes. So I like to do it like this and glaze the inside and the outside at the same time. My bowls are super thin, but they're just thick enough that they can do this. That the the body of the clay, this side absorbs this glaze and that side absorbs that glaze. If I do it quickly enough, the moisture doesn't go through. Otherwise, I have to wait like an hour before the glaze completely dries and the bowl completely dries, so it'll absorb that glaze. So I really like doing them bam, bam, really quick, back to back, done. So better. It's so better. See if I can be aware of the camera and the angles and what you can see. I guess I can come over here as I clean this up. Yeah, I'll come over here and clean it up, and then I can read if anybody writes anything. I can read it. These live videos are cool because, sometimes there's only a person or a couple people here. I actually can't see how many people are here right now, but it doesn't matter because later, like hundreds of people watch them. So you don't have to be here live to catch the live. And I'm so grateful for everybody who watches the videos, and I hope that you like them, and I'd like to know what you like about them. I'm kind of fishing for, do you think I'm funny? I want to be, oh, Cheryl's here. Hi. I kind of want to be like a pottery comedian. uh, Sometimes I think that people, this is my story, is that I'm so funny that people don't get it. Woo! Wasn't breathing. Almost fell over. Okay, so let's see how many we have now. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I think I better do at least one more of these. And then a big one. Exhaling, pouring the glaze. About a count of 5 or so. 5, 7, 10, whatever I feel like. Whatever seems right in the moment. Every glaze is a little different, and this one likes to be mixed thick. It just likes to go on the pot thick. And I was, just as I said that, I was reminded of my mentor and ex-partner, T, and he used to say, mix it thick and glaze it quick. He had lots of stuff like that. I learned so much from him. But this one I have to kind of mix thick and glaze slow because it just really likes that. Maybe I can reformulate the glaze so I don't have to, it doesn't have to be so thick. Nima and I are going to start doing some glaze development stuff. And it just takes a long time. I've been working, this is my purple, and I've been working on that purple for years. And it's still not really where I want it to be as far as color goes. I want it to be a little more brilliant. So if any of you out there are like glaze wizards and you want to help me, I humbly accept. I would humbly accept somebody to be thinking about my purple with me and what I could do with it. I'm happy. That's one recipe that I don't mind making public and working together with some people. So I could just put my purple recipe out there and we could work on it together. Okay, so I'm going to do one more of this larger size. I made a mistake when I was making these, and I made these too big. 7/8 of a pound instead of 3/4 of a pound made a really, really, really big difference. Go around there twice and out. Try to get some of the excess glaze off, and then down into the bucket, straight down so I don't get that vacuum seal breaking bloop, up to the rim touching the surface, and then gently out. That's the trick. That's the trick if you're watching, if you want to do what I'm doing. If you want to copy my style exactly, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. Yeah. Every technique is going to have its own little set of tricks. So the things that I share here aren't necessarily transferable onto anything else. But I think in some ways they must be. All right, so as I clean this up, I'm looking to make sure that, here, let me bring it over there like I said I would, like a good girl. Oh, Barbara, you think I'm so funny? That's awesome. That's exactly what I've been waiting to hear. Thank you. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking the glaze off of the spiral so they're not connected. If they connect even the littlest bit, the raspberry glaze is going to run into the spiral design, and I do not want that. So usually I try to take really good care of that with my waxing so that doesn't happen, but you know, my eyes aren't what they used to be. Oh, my cousin Naomi's back. Now I know that you're my cousin and not the other Naomi. Naomi Kotler. That's who I was thinking you might be. Yeah. I'm gonna need my quality control team in here for this job. Make sure I don't overlap them. Oh, and see here, if I didn't get my wax line really nice, it comes up with that beautiful little, that sarcastic little extra little hair, which I really don't like. Somehow, even the tiniest little thing you can see on the finished product, it's like this funny little, not funny like me, funny like not haha, um, little line that I don't like. Okay, this sponge is on its last legs. I'm going to relocate some of these finished bowls now over to the other shelves so I can continue to glaze freely. So I have some space. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is glaze the top of some of these mugs and the bottom of some new mugs. I think I can get 3 of these as long as they're dry. Some glazes, you just can't touch the glaze at all. Others are like kind of sensitive. And some it's like, yeah, you can even stack those bowls up and it's going to be fine. So it just really depends on the glaze and how stable it is in its dry form. Just doing a little repair over here off camera. Sorry everybody, but I just discovered a problem. Just discovered a problem. Okay, fixed it. Oh, my cat's coming in. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to tell you something terrible. If you're still there, I have rats in my house. I have rats. Rats! Rats in my house. I need a Pied Piper. I need a rat trap. I'm ready to kill. I'm open to it. I'm ready for the killing. May the rat killing begin. Last night they went into my living room and they chewed a pumpkin to smithereens and left its guts strewn about, including on my beautiful couch that I love so much. Rats were on my beautiful couch last night. Rats sitting on my beautiful couch. Can you believe that? I couldn't either. Okay, so let's start glazing some bowls. There's a couple different ways that I'll do this. This one, I'm going to go straight down and out. This rim is purple, and it's going to be raspberry on the outside, and then later I will add some other glazes that are kind of what's called fluxy glazes, runny glazes. Fluxy is an adjective for glazes that flux, or that have a lot of flux. The flow, flux, flow, run. And so putting a little bit of fluxy glaze over this combination will create a really nice effect. But for now, I'm just going to do the outside here, raspberry. Whoa, there's that bloop. But I was just going to say, on this bowl, a little bloop can be interesting. I didn't want it on my other one. Oh, this one, it didn't do it. But often when you bloop a bowl like that, it creates, glazes the inside a little bit, like a little splash, a little wave of glaze will go into the inside. And for this, it would be interesting. So we will see. Cleaning up the wax. And then these will have to go in an area for the flexi finish. I guess I'll have to do that. Well, we'll see when I do that. Maybe even tonight is what I'm saying. It could happen here, folks. Flexi finish. Your flexi finish fantasy could unfold. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that. So now these are purple on the bottom. I'm going to add some raspberries to some of the tops, not all of them. Now here I have to actually focus and exhale and keep it all in a plane. Okay, because if I don't, then the band is thinner on one side than the other, like this one. So I have to get in my flow with this. This is kind of nice here to clean up, easy. Okay, this one, that sponge is falling apart. Oh, this one's so much better. Okay, so using the right tool for the right job, highly recommended. Imagine trying to screw something in with a hammer. But even so, like, if you're doing something and there's a tool that would make it easier, use that tool. Tools are amazing. So I'm just going to open that up a little bit more on this side. Usually I wouldn't be doing any of this because I would have just done it correctly in the first place, but this is my first mug I've glazed like this in 5 years or more. Okay, so now this one I know is done. I don't have to worry about like what color is that? What am I doing? This is purple with red on top, raspberry on top. So I'm just gonna put it on the side. It doesn't matter. Later I will put the spiral in that band. The same spiral that I have in my bowls will go on that band. Like this, but this one is a lighter colored. It's called Chino, and I just use that when I use the black glaze. Otherwise, I don't use the Chino for that purpose on this clay. Okay, let's see if we can get this even this time. I look back to some of my, if somebody has a mug from like 2004 or something, these lines used to be so wonky. It was like I didn't even know that they weren't straight or didn't care, or I don't know. Maybe not all of them, but sometimes I'll see somebody walking around with a mug of mine and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that band is terrible. And they're like, it's my favorite mug. Don't talk about it like that. That was so nice that Barbara said she thought I was funny before. If anybody else has an opinion about that, I don't mind if you don't think I'm funny. It won't hurt my feelings. Okay, here we. So here we go with another tool. Just getting most of the glaze off of it. I'll get the rest with the sponge. It's easier. So much faster. Okay, beauty. Okay, so some more raspberries. I think this would be a good one that's raspberry on top. Sorry you can't see this part. I'll definitely have to do a video soon where you can see the whole thing. Ah, that one was really good. Good. It's the best when I don't have to do it again, when I don't have to do anything to it. Like I do it and it's perfect. Here are these Montenegro mugs that I'm making in my own in my own style. Montenegro is this awesome guy on Instagram. Let me get that off of there. Here, let me put that down. He's great. He's Peruvian. I found out a lot about him. He's Peruvian, and I think he lives in Florida. And I think he teaches at a university. And just seems like an awesome guy and has some really cool techniques. So I saw these mugs and I wanted to copy them because I thought they were really cool. But also, I was feeling really competitive with him because I was like, how am I going to get myself famous? I was like, oh, there's a potter who I could do what he's doing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Basically, I wanted to, he said he was using 1.5 pounds of clay, and I knew I could make these pots with way less than that, so I used 1 pound instead of 1.5 pounds. But anyway, it came out of a competitive moment, is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to do this thing right now because I'm making a mess. Okay, what else? What else have we got here? Raspberry on top of this. This one will do purple and green. So I'm kind of, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing over here. It doesn't really matter, but I have different areas of mugs hanging out. I'm going to make some of them some are raspberry or purple with raspberry. Some are going to be purple with turquoise. And some are going to be purple with green. And others that are fully glazed are going to just have to have something else going on. I think I can put some raspberry on those actually. Yeah, I think I will. So let me save that for turquoise. A few over here for green. See what else is sitting around. I think I'll do, that's raspberry on the bottom. Green, turquoise. I ran out of these pots pretty quick. Okay, let's do this. Raspberry over the purple. And then what I'm going to have to do is do a bunch of raspberry bottoms, which I don't have yet. So these are the ones that are going to get the fluxy treatment. Possibly tonight. Oops. For this, it doesn't have to be thick. It just has to have the overlap effect. I don't have to hold it for 5. It already has glaze on there. If you get too much glaze on a pot, it'll start crawling off usually. So you don't want it to be too thick on there. And you definitely want the thickness to be on the top, not the bottom. So if you're overlapping, yeah, keep the thickness up on the top of the pot so it has room to flow. Okay, I'm going to do one of these little guys. I have a handful of these left over from 2018 or something. I never fired. Okay. I keep looking up to see if there's a comment or a question, so just know that I'm here for you, people. I am here for you. Okay, so those guys all have their overlaps. This one doesn't. I'll do this. Okay. I really have no idea what these are going to be like. Okay, so now Now I have to go into raspberry bottomed mugs. Mm. Now, up until now, I've just been doing raspberry as the tops. And I did my raspberry bowls. Oh, I need to do some raspberry serving bowls. Definitely. Okay, let's come on over here. We'll get some of these out. Okay. It's really easy to run out of room real quick. Okay. Got to get really creative with space. So, raspberry mugs I'm going to glaze, and then I have to put them somewhere where I know that they are the raspberry mugs. These ones are going to get glazed turquoise. Those ones are going to get glazed green. Let's see. Oh, here, I'll put this, I'll do a little thing for myself where, so here's my green, here's my color green, and I'm going to put it over here with these mugs that I want to glaze green to remember those ones are green. And these ones are going to be turquoise. This can get out of the way. It's funny having people watch you in the studio because it's like such a dance, you know? Okay, and did I do another big one? We don't know, it's okay. So we're moving on here. Okay. Now I have to like pick the pots that want to be raspberry. Can you imagine? I have to pick the pots that want to be raspberry. Oh wait, first we're doing the bowls. That gives me some time before I have to choose. Okay, now this one, let's see what happens. I think I can grab the foot. I try to glaze, to trim my pots so I can grab the foot so I can glaze it upside down right after this. So I want to get that glaze on there before the water from this glaze starts absorbing through the pot. So that means kind of quick, and I'm having a hard time grabbing this foot. So let's see what happens. Okay, I want that glaze to all go right back in the bucket. I really don't want to lose any of this on the floor, and I want this glaze in the bucket to last until I get back there. And not in the bucket, in the pourer. I missed one tiny little spot that I didn't go over, so I just saw some up there. Where was that? Right there? Is that what I saw? Yes. Okay. Keep breathing, everyone. It's gonna be okay. Okay. I'll come over here, hang out a little bit closer to you as I clean this up. This is kind of detailed and not very flashy. Oh, Rhonda asked me earlier in a comment on one of my things. She said, usually in the arts, there's some part that people don't like, you know, like there's like your least favorite part of the process. And I think for me, that would be mixing glazes. Mixing glazes, oh, cleaning the studio actually is my least favorite. Although it feels so good when it's done. But yeah, mixing glazes would probably be my answer to that. However, I really, I challenge myself when I'm mixing glazes. So like, let's say you need 2,000 grams of silica. I challenge myself to develop like a really subtle sense slash intuition to get it on the nose. And it's just kind of like getting a hole in one, you know, like it hardly ever happens. But when it happens, like you want to do a dance around the studio. And if you mix enough glazes, it happens every once in a while that you just happen to scoop 2,000 grams of silica out and put it in on the triple beam, and it's perfect. And so those moments make it really fun. And I say gamify the things that you don't enjoy. Make it into a game if you can. if you can. Flirt with the universe, let it surprise you. That's what I say. What do you guys think about that? Gamify things you don't enjoy. Also, I know I talk about this a lot, but framing the things that you might not enjoy as taking care of your future self. Then you infuse the experience with love for yourself, with love for your future self. And it just creates a very nice vibe, I have to say. Taking care of your future self is a very nice vibe to live in. Here's a question for the peanut gallery. Why is everybody so hooked on narcissism? Why are we so targeting narcissists? So disgusted with those narcissists. Ew, narcissist. Somebody please tell me why. I'm not talking about specific people because I know that there are definitely specific abusive circumstances, but I think culturally it's an interesting phenomenon that we are a little obsessed with the narcissism thing. I wonder what other people think about that. So feel free to post in the comments, live or in the future, about your thought about the American obsession with narcissism. I think it's a problem of, well, I think it's a really complex issue, first of all, I want to say. And I think that narcissism is probably usually born out of deeply low self-esteem. So somebody who doesn't feel good about themselves overcompensates on the other side and decides, fuck them all, I'm just going to do what I want because nobody cares about me, or my parents didn't care about me, or whatever, whoever was supposed to care about me didn't. And that's something that most people can relate to. Most people don't feel like they were cared for properly because all of us as children are sensitive and we're disempowered because we're not adults and we're not making the decisions. And there's enough stress in the world that most parents are not always cheery and are not always kind, and most people have problems, so, those wind up coming out in the family. Let's see. Oh, Shar, hi. So, what a narcissist is a sociopath, and a sociopath doesn't care if they hurt people. A true narcissist is a sociopath, and sociopaths don't care if other people suffer. And to get to that point where you close off to another human's suffering, you have to be pretty wounded yourself. So I'm just saying that just to say it. And the other piece is that I think that we're so afraid to show that we even like ourselves, much less love ourselves. I think people are petrified to like themselves because of our Judeo-Christian shame-based culture. I think we're ready to move beyond this, people, because humans have extraordinary gifts, and when we do that big old inner critic thing of hating on ourselves, we block our ability to share our gifts, to even know them. We separate from our best selves. And so I think it does way more harm than good, and that we could all be more self-loving, self-appreciative, self-enjoying. We could all have more positive self-regard, and the world would be a better place if people just like themselves. So if you find yourself saying negative things about yourself, I want to urge you to stop that bad habit and look for one thing. I think for each time you hear yourself saying something negative about yourself, if you could just stop it and turn it around. I'm just coming up with this on the spot here. I never said this before. But I think that a good medicine would be maybe to have one thing in your pocket that you know you like about yourself, or even a general thing about your inherent goodness, because I think people are inherently beautiful and good. And don't treat yourself any worse than you treat somebody else. You know, if the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, then it's like do unto yourself as you would do unto others, you know? Basically, don't be a jerk to yourself. It's not nice. Don't bully yourself. I feel like a bully right now. I feel like I'm yelling at everybody. I'm yelling at the inner critic out there. Stop it! Stop being so mean to everybody! That's what I'm doing. Okie dokie. We got a lot of work to do, people. Here we go. We're glazing mugs. Tall ones first. I said this earlier, which is if you have tall stuff, glaze it first before you glaze the short stuff, because you'll run out of glaze if you glaze all the small stuff and leave the tall stuff to the end. I think often because it's tall, it's like seems like more important, and you're like, oh, I can't glaze that yet. Let me practice with these 500 bowls. But no, do the tall stuff first, and also uh, pitchers, plastic pitchers are really nice. Not so much with handles. I don't think this could go in there, but they're great for like a tumbler or other cylinders. If you're running out of glaze and you pour it into something that's that shape, it can really help. Hi, Pat. Pat, I think we're going to have some kind of a lunch or something sometime soon. I got your message and I don't think I messaged you back, but I like the idea and I'm here to tell you right now. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so here's the point. This is what I've been avoiding. I have to find the mugs that want to be raspberry. Mm-hmm. It's not just like grab the first 10 off the shelf. No, no, no. Not at all. You can't do that. You actually have to find the one. Well, you can. You can. I take it back. You can do whatever you want, but I can't. I really feel like I need to find the ones that want to be raspberry. I have to find the ones that are supposed to be. That's my style. Okay, so now I can be doing some thinking here about what's going to happen to these after. So I'll just put them, let's see where I can put these. Oh boy, people, we're going to have some problems here. Okay, these are done and ready. Oh boy, we are running out of room. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see here. Here. There. Okay. And all right. Purple. These are finished. Raspberry. Okay, I came up with a new little setup over here that I feel good about. Where, oh boy, there's so little room for anything. Okay, here we go. All right. Raspberry. Here we go. I said this before. With these, I'm trying to get, oh my gosh, look at my finger right in there. I'm trying to get a nice even band all the way around, and it doesn't always happen that way. Like this one did not happen that way. Then it takes a little bit. What I'll do is make a cut here. This tool, if you haven't seen it before, is one of my favorite glazing tools. I love it so much. Okay. All right. So, raspberry. Here we go. We got a little collection over here too. Okay. More raspberry. This one. Oh my gosh, I love this mug. Good luck, little guy. Rooting for you. Let's see how I did. That one was really good. Over these textured mugs, I don't know if you can see that, but this has texture on it. And some of my glazes will break over that texture and it'll create a really nice effect. Here's a red one. Tight right here. Let's see. This one. Uh-oh. I'm not going to be able to, Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to grab this one. So, let's see, no, I'm going to go like this and go straight down. Right to the rim. Without getting that raspberry on the inside. That was tricky. One thing that I will tell you, and this is a good tip for all of life, well, for moving things, for stuff, is that if you're ever moving, like let's say you have a plate and you have to carry it across the room and you have 3 glasses of water on that plate. And you really don't want to spill them and it doesn't seem that stable. The way to make it stable is to touch the 3 glasses to each other. And that creates stability. So if you ever, like, I kept bumping into this thing and I was like, I'm going to knock something over here. I could feel my butt's bumping into it. So I pushed it up against, so it's touching the thing. And now I feel, I still could break it. Something could still happen. But I feel inside more settled because I know that it's more stable. Because around here, I'm like always like just stick a mug on there. I'm moving quickly, I'm moving around, and I could easily and do knock things over. So this one's a raspberry. Here, I'll put my raspberry right here with those. Okay. All right. Let's see one of these. This guy's raspberry. Okay. I take a look over it once just to make sure nothing's screaming, clean me. Kind of touch up a couple things here when I can, when I see it. It's another one of my pieces of wisdom is clean it now. Clean it now. Save yourself the headache of forgetting to clean it later when it's probably going to be worse. So with pottery, it's really great. It's just so simple. If the pot's green, if it's just freshly thrown, then often if there's a problem with it, you have to wait for it to set up. But while it's still green, which means unfired, it's very easy to sand it, to use a sponge and sponge it down. Oh, see, look, here, I'm going to do this. I've got 3 mugs here, and I could easily just bump into this bucket and one of them goes flying. So instead, I'm going to touch them all to each other, and then it's much more stable. See, and now I can push it around and there's a very little chance that anything's going to happen. Whereas when they were separate, one little thing, well, that looks pretty stable too. But anyway, I'm telling you, it's the truth. All right, back to work, people. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's do some bigger mugs. Okay. I really appreciate that people come and watch these. I like watching pottery too. I think it's fascinating. Even though I've done it for so long, I'm still literally fascinated to watch it. Especially different potters have different techniques and styles. So I learn a lot from watching them. But it's something else. There's something else there about the magic of it. The first time I saw somebody put a handle on a mug, pull a handle right off the mug, I was just blown away. The cat's hungry. He's ready for dinner. I should let him just eat the rats. If you're tuning in late, I have rats in my house right now. I'm thinking about, like, if I sleep in the living room where they were last night, well, first of all, I probably couldn't sleep. So that's a problem. But I don't want to let them just have the run of the house at night. It's very difficult to fall asleep when you hear the rats moving around your house. It's very disconcerting. So I'm not going to touch those two together yet because the glaze is wet. And now I just noticed on this one, I'd like that to be right, the glaze to be right up against the line that's cut into the pot. There we go. Much nicer. Okay. This is a slow process, this whole thing. This whole glazing thing. Overrated. Here's a raspberry one. Like fanning my fingers out inside to hold the mug while I clean it up. So yeah, oh wait, I was talking about the order, is it called the order of operations? Order of cleaning operations, which is that if you clean it now, it's easier. So if you wait, let's say something needs to be sanded a little bit, and and you do it at the greenware stage, then yay, like it's done. And then when you get it at the bisque stage, you're like, oh look, I took care of my future self. I cleaned this pot, and now it doesn't have to be cleaned again. So that's a nice feeling. But then if you missed it, don't be mad at your past self. But the fact is, it's going to take you more effort to clean the thing this time. It's going to take you more effort to clean it than it would have, more time, more effort, plus, and more dust than it would have been when it was green. So if you've waited to the bisque, then it takes more time, more effort, more frustration. I'm trying to see the line here. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, you have to have the light. Okay. Then, let's say you miss it at the bisque, and you're like, yeah, it's got a little thing. I need to sand it, but I'll just do it later. I don't want to do it right now. And then you fire the pot, and now it's like almost impossible to sand. And if you do try to do it, it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more time and a lot more frustration. So, back to my reinforces my theory. Well, it gives an example of my theory that it's almost always better to clean the thing when you find it. If you find it, consider yourself lucky, because you're finding it, first of all, you're finding it, period, and also you're finding it before a harder stage to clean it, to deal with it. Okay. These are the raspberry ones. All my glazes, almost all my glazes, they look very similar when they are in this dry, wet glaze form. So when they dry on the pot, that if you look at them, you're like, which one's raspberry, which one's purple? I have no idea. They look exactly the same, unfortunately. So staying organized at this stage is really, really helpful. Okay, wait. Do what I just learned. Go where you can see. Glazing in the dark is no bueno. No bueno. I have a whole fluorescent light thing that's been out for months, years, something like that. I need it to be working now. But that's all right. I got some other stuff. Well, is it freezing where you are? It's freezing here in Eugene. Literally freezing. 32 tonight, I think, or 30. All right, we gotta find some more red guys. Oh, I keep doing that. I just want to do it right there. Somebody was like, recently, they were like, I can't wait until the glazing. And I'm like, well, okay, but it's really not that exciting. But okay, here we go. That's my friend Rhonda. She's always posting. She's always commenting. She was really excited. I hope she's not disappointed. So it's good to be glazing some of these taller things now, because I'd like to have I want to get that bottom layer in. And I'm actually having a hard time remembering which of my glazes does the best on the bottom shelf. So pots have, let's see here. Or pot, not pots, but clay and glazes, especially glazes, melt at a specific temperature. And some of them have a range, and some of them are really sensitive. And I either fire to, I usually fire to cone 6 with a soak. So that means you get to temperature of cone 6 and you hold it there for a period of time for all the glazes to kind of like mature and the glaze to kind of seal over and really get nice is how I think of it. It's the nice getting time. Here's a red one. But anyway, so the bottom and the top of the kiln are usually the coolest. And the middle of the kiln is the hottest, at least my kiln. So I'm trying to remember which of my glazes just does the best on the bottom and the top. Like which ones are the best in those two places? And I can remember some that actually weren't good there, but I don't remember which one's the best, unfortunately. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Let's get this out of the way. Let's move that over a little bit. Now we got some room. It's amazing how space can be created. I'll say that. Look at this guy. I forgot about that guy. Oops. I'm also like trying to take care of my body as I do this because I can tell there's like some of this like bending over stuff that's happening and my spine needs some care around that. So whatever you do, let yourself move. You know, that's another part of our puritanical culture is that everybody's trying to hold on to themselves so tightly we don't let ourselves move. We don't, well, okay, I don't want to say we don't. Strike that. Often humans can miss out on connecting to their animal nature, to the soft animal of their bodies. If you know that Mary Oliver poem, Wild Geese. Let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And usually bodies really love movement. And it's a problem or it's a challenge, let's say, to people to move. It challenges people to move. Because often people just don't really move. Okay, let me count my mugs. I did 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 raspberry. Let's do a couple more. Let's find a couple more raspberry mugs. How about one back here? Oh, this one. That's a nice one. So round. All right. So easy to misplace sponges. I try to pick just a couple places where I leave my tools. But sometimes you just put that sponge down without thinking twice. Okay. So there's one. Uh-oh. I just did it. Hi, Lauren. I don't know if you can hear me, but I saw your name. Okay. One more? How about this big round one? I don't think we have any of those. Okay. Oh, I'm on this side again. Okay, that one wasn't so bad because it was a different style. And I put my sponge here. Okay. Isn't it amazing how challenging it is to change our awareness? Like, I'm even talking to you about it. This is live, people. I'm telling you my problem, and I still am having trouble tracking it and resolving it. But it's cool that we can consciously work on our evolution if we want to. Yeah, that's another question for the peanut gallery. What is personal growth? Is it important? And if you're somebody who's into personal growth, how do you feel with people who aren't so into it or don't care about it or don't focus on it? You can just think about that, or you can say something in the comments if you'd like. You are invited to comment. Oh, that one didn't get all the way. Just going to go ahead and dip the bottom. And this guy. I almost never, ever, ever trim feet onto cups, but something inspired me this time. Oh, because I'm trying to do new things. Personal growth. I am a personal growth junkie person, but I think it's great when people aren't into it. I think, wow, you must have a lot of time. You're not always trying a lot of mental space, freed up mental space if you're not always trying to self-improve. Okay, so raspberry. I think we're pausing here on raspberry. Yeah, I think we're going to pause on the raspberry right there. And we're going to move on to, let's see. We're moving on to either green or turquoise. I think we're going to have to do the turquoise first. Just feels right. Because both my raspberry mugs and my purple mugs are going to look good with some of that turquoise splashed on there. So that's the plan, people. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to try to get as much of this raspberry glaze back in the bucket. So first I did that with brushing off this measuring cup. I used to just leave them in there, but again, I'm always trying to do something different. So I'm going to clean them every time and see how that goes. So my sponge has some water in it, but not too much, just enough that when I squeeze this out, it'll actually go out. But I don't want to add a ton of water to this glaze because it's mixed pretty much just right, which is kind of like a little bit like heavy cream thickness. Okay, that's good enough for now. Cover that guy back up. Cover this guy back up. And then let's fish out. This I have to fix later. Put it here. I'm going to fish out my turquoise glaze. Okay, feels pretty full. Okay. see here. Now, I really like to bring the glazes up here, up to, this is one's great, up to like my working level, so I'm not constantly bending down. I try to get as much stuff to go back into the water bucket, like little glaze chips and stuff. And now what I've got here is a glaze that has not yet been mixed. When I put my finger down into the bucket, there's about this much water, over an inch. So what I'm going to do is take some of that water out, and I can always put it back in. So I'm going to take it out, and I'll put it in here for now. It's really just water. There's like the tiniest little bit of glaze in there. So I'll save it, and then if it needs more water, I'll just put this right back in, and if it doesn't, I can let that, whatever glaze is in there, settle to the bottom, pour the water off the top, and then put the glaze back in the bucket tomorrow. So I really like to keep it all, not be throwing a lot of glaze away. All right. Now you can see that this has a little bit of glaze on it from the last one I mixed up, which was my raspberry. In some cases, I would just leave that because it's like, oh, a tiny bit of raspberry is not going to do anything to my turquoise glaze. But for now, I'm just going to do this, sponge it off. Okay. If I was going from a black glaze, my really dark iron glaze into this, I definitely would clean it off. But in this case, I normally wouldn't. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, after I hold on. After I mix it, I just run this bottom of this drill bit on the bottom of the bucket, just to make sure, like, I can kind of sense, like, oh yeah, it's still a little bit hard there. Then I also get a sense if it's settling out. Like, I just cleaned it there, and now it's hard again. Some of the glazes prefer to have some bentonite or Epsom salts or something added to what's called deflocculate the glaze. Okay, now we can get rid of these ones. These are waiting for their prince. They're waiting for their turquoise. They are purple on the bottom, and purple and turquoise, my purple and turquoise look really good together. If you ask me. All right. Doing good, doing good. And now this one, I'm just going to go ahead and overlap it. All right. And then I'll be adding, when I overlap glazes, then I think I said this before in this live, I add a fluxy glaze in between them that will help them run. And I have two that I like to use for that. Okay, whoops. Got a little miss here. There's often a spot in the handle that just, you miss the glaze. I miss the glaze. Okay, so these three are done and ready for their spirals. That's wonderful. Put them over here in the little waiting to be spiraled area, and this one into the waiting to be fluxed area. And so I got all those done. That's so nice to have that done. And next, oh, let's do the raspberry ones. Okay, so now I have to pick the pots that are raspberry and want to be raspberry with turquoise. Let's see here. I'm gonna say this one. Now, when turquoise is on the top of my mugs, if it's too heavy, it's just a little gaudy. So I really want to make this not too thick. So I'm going to go kind of in and out pretty quick. So it doesn't have this kind of like turquoise. It's just going to be a little bit loud, this glaze. Okay. So I hold it upside down there for a moment so the glaze can dry enough to not drip down the side when I put it right side up. In and out. Mix it thick, glaze it quick. That is the one where it does work with this glaze. Okay, I might have to take a break soon because I'm getting hungry. Okay, let me do at least one more. I think this could be a fun one. Here's the drip. I gotta clean that up. Okay, it's getting hot in here, people. I got all the heaters on. I can turn that off now. Wow, that's such a great feeling. Okay, so this one is waiting for its flux. The heater, let's see, I've been able to step on this up until now, but I don't want it to go out from under me. Normally it has all those glaze buckets on it. Hot off. So hot. I'm like suddenly, this must be a hot flash. Okay, so let's see, maybe this big one. Yeah, let's try this big one. All right, perfect. Beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so this one, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, my headphones are telling me it's time to go. Hi, Spirit. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. It's been so long. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Okay. So my headphones are dying and I'm hungry. All of this is going to add up to mean I'm going to take a break and then come back a little bit later. Here's this one that I just did that kind of glooped. I take this, it's a very nice little tool for the potters out there. So exciting to see you working and to see you, period. You too. Oh, are you still at, I'm sure you're still at market, but I'm asking because I don't go. And I would go, of course, but the reason I don't is that I would never make it through there. There's just too many people who I haven't seen in too long. But that's so sweet of you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I was just thinking today maybe I should get in touch with Holiday Market and see if there's spots open like for a weekend or two. Not Thanksgiving, but I guess we passed it already. Usually the first and the last, there were always those empty spaces. So I thought maybe I should just get in there. I don't know. Okay, let's do this guy. How is market these days, Spirit, if you're still there? I'm curious, and I'm curious about, we thought that too. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What did you think? Wait, hold on. No market. You're not doing market. Oh, and you thought about you thought about doing just a week or two. That's cool. So what are you doing if you're not doing market? Are you still doing clothing and just doing wholesale or something like that? Let's see. 1 to 2 weekends, but we are raising our 3-year-old grandbabies and it all feels like a lot. Yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot. Wow, you're raising your grandchildren. That's a lot. Um, I won't ask any personal questions about that, but of course, a zillion questions pop up when I hear that. Um, yeah, market. I wonder what it's like because when I stopped doing market, it was when there was a change of managers, Etsy a bit, but larger quantity orders and gardening. Nice, nice. Um, there was a changeover in the management of both Saturday Market and the fairgrounds, and they like cracked down on what we've been doing for like 20 years or more, which was just like covering it up really well and leaving it there for the week between weekends. And suddenly that didn't fly anymore, and I was having to like bring my pots home every single week, and I was like, I'm out. I'm out. This is not sustainable for me. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. All right. So now, okay, what are we doing, people? We just did we did some of that. Let's do some of these. Let's do some mugs, turquoise mugs. Okay. I just did one of these. Let's see. All right. Tell me also, because my AirPods just went like boop, 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 boop. So, oh, maybe you lost the sound? Maybe you can't even hear me say that. Okay, yeah, I have a feeling that my AirPods are telling me it's time to take a break, which is so nice because I think I need it. Okay, peace out, people. I'll be back more with a lot more of the exact same, more of the things I think about and things I do. That's what I can share with you. Okay, sorry if these aren't working, and talk to you soon.